You could download these emulators on your cellular phone, and it would allow you to kind of play your phone like a Nintendo 64.
I had some emulators on my old Windows phone like 10 years ago. Yeah.
Apple, instead of letting you go to a third-party place to download the app, they'd rather it come from them.
I'm totally going to download it.
It only took this app one day to become the #1 free app in the App Store. But what is it? It's called Delta, and it allows users to play retro games on their iPhone.
Sold.
The game emulator allows users to play NES, Genesis, SNES, Game Boy, and N64 games. It'll also allow users to play DS games, but that might take some extra steps. Game emulators on phones have been around for a while, but for years, Apple policies made it really difficult to put game emulators on the App Store.
Free.
But with their recently loosened policies, developer Riley Tested swooped in and launched Delta this week, and it's hugely popular. It even currently shows up before the airline app. And thanks to Apple AirPlay, people have been playing these games on their TVs. Would you download the Delta app? What games would you play?
Here's my opinion. I'm going to make this short and sweet. Nintendo, everybody else who might get all bent out of shape, stop. Just stop, because you can monetize this stuff, which they're doing. You know, we have a couple Switches that float around in our house. You know, we got the Nintendo Online thing. It's a couple bucks a month, and they're releasing 1 or 2 games every month, and it's not even the games you really want to play. It's the ones they want you to play, and whatever, and that they have licensing for still, and I get it. There's a whole kind of thing that they have to deal with. But big thing in video games right now is preservation. It's going away because everything's online only, right? And you're buying games and they're shutting off servers and you can't play anymore when they decide, and you've already got a bunch of time, money, and energy stuck into it, and all of a sudden they say, nope, not anymore, turn it off. It's really not cool. And one of the biggest things about video games for people at least my age is nostalgia. You know, baby boomers nostalgia is records and Elvis and rock and roll and all that kind of stuff. And for us, it's like going over to our friend's house when we were kids and playing Nintendo, playing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out and playing, you know, Tecmo Bowl and Madden in the 90s and all those kind of things. And my opinion is, okay, you can do one of two things. You can just let it happen, or you can limit it and try to monetize it a little. People pay a couple bucks at a time, you're going to make some money. I think you're going to make a lot more money if you let people get in front of those old games that have never played them before, and then just capitalize on the IPs. Nintendo could sit and watch it and say, Apple, I'm going to say, okay, feed me the data. What are people playing the most from the 90s? What's the biggest Game Boy game people were on to play? Oh, it's that. Okay, we're gonna hire a third party or a first party house, and we're gonna redo this game on our next platform. We're gonna make gazillions, or we're gonna turn it into a games as a service and then charge for it. But let this happen, because what's happening with games, if you watch it, they're flatlining. If you listen to leaders and in different companies that are big in gaming, it's flatlining somewhat. You're topping out your market. So you got to figure out a way to get some excitement. For me, falls under a business principle of mine is be willing to give before you're willing to get. And with some of this old content, I guarantee people who are downloading and playing this stuff is not necessarily me and people like me or you. It's people who weren't playing. Yeah. And they're just like interested. What were these old games like? You know? So what the hell do I know? I'm just a guy here in Wisconsin with a little business and, you know, talking on a camera to you, but I think you gotta let it happen and then capitalize on the excitement. If I had a platform like Nintendo, first thing I would do is I'd get in front of a camera and be like, go nuts. In fact, make sure you download this, and this, and this is my favorite game when I was a kid. Play the heck out of this. And I'd watch the data. And I'd sit with my teams and figure out, okay, how do we make money off of this?